Welcome to another Zincast, and it is Pucking Around with Chris, and Chris is finally back in the studio. Chris, it's good that I don't have to make a little stop motion graphics of you from the first video.
I was crying laughing with that though, so that was pretty clever.
Well, listen, all I know is your hockey picks have been off the charts. You went 2-0 last in the conference finals. You picked the Avs and you picked the Lightning. I picked the Lightning also. Sorry, Ranger fans. Your run came to an end. But I picked Edmonton, and that wasn't close. So before we go into the Stanley Cup Finals, because this is a Stanley Cup Finals edition of Pucking Around, let's talk about what has happened so far. How are the Avs this amazing powerhouse that have swept two teams, okay, have only lost twice? St. Louis is the only team to beat them, okay, and they're in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they look like the team to beat right now. I mean, is this team for real, or is it just their matchups?
No, I think the team's for real. I think this has not been a stranger for Colorado the last, couple of seasons that they've been in the playoffs, making noise. They just come out and just powerhouse right past with the scoring. And
I mean, look, we predicted sweeps for the against the Predators because Predators didn't even have their goalie, so that anyone could have predicted, right? St. Louis, we both had them advancing past St. Louis, but St. Louis gave them a little bit of a problem. A little bit. They lost twice there. But then, against the Edmonton Oilers, Edmonton got over that first round, got over the second round, okay? And the first round they were shaky against the Kings, but I felt that was more jitters. Yeah. Second round they were impressive, but third round, gone.
Connor, thanks. Leon, thanks. Bye. And those guys are beyond.
Connor McDavid, 33 points in these playoffs. Leon Draisaitl, 32 points in these playoffs. The next best is, sorry Ranger fans, Mika Zibanejad with 24 points. But the interesting part is you got two guys with over 30 points and you get swept. Brooms.
By a backup goalie.
Oh, Mike Smith. Yeah, if I was Edmonton, I'd be like, we need a goal. We need to fix goaltending.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
They can definitely have Louis Domingue, the Baker, because he would have been an upgrade to Mike Smith, as at least in that round against the Avs.
We're gonna got a couple of meals out of it.
Those games. So many high-scoring games, but a couple low-scoring games also. Mm-hmm. Avs shut them out with the backup goaltender.
I mean, literally. But they, on average, looking at almost all of their games, they're scoring 7, 8, 5 goals. I think the least amount of goals that team scores is 3. And, that's a lot.
Yeah. Well, listen, the Avs are led by, Cale Makar, first off, on defense. Guy's amazing. 22 points, okay? He's got 5 goals, 17 assists. But Nathan MacKinnon with his 11 goals, 18 points. And remember, we were just talking about, Draisaitl and McDavid at the 33-32 mark. Yeah. MacKinnon, 18. That's almost half of what McDavid has, right? A little less than half, a little more than half, but still. Gabriel Landeskog, though, this team
is got that core, 4 people that are all right next to each other versus Nico Kucherov.
Nikita
Kucherov.
Nikita.
Yeah. He's there. What was it?
23 points, 7
but that's
goals,
it. Then you're
assists.
where's the Crickets? And then it drops. So Colorado takes the next 6 spots. Almost.
Yeah, but Palat
is good.
Palat is good. Palat is not the guy that scores goals normally. No. And he's having himself an amazing playoffs. Stamkos, relatively quiet, 9 goals, 6 assists, but 2 huge goals against the Rangers in that elimination game. Remember, the Rangers were 5-0 in elimination games coming into Tampa Bay on Saturday night. But
you gave a 2-0 lead up and I think you said before, Rangers never lead a series ever.
Against the Penguins, they never led the series. Against Carolina, they never led the series. They jumped on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, I guess after the sweep of Florida, speaking of sweeps, after Tampa Bay swept Florida, they seemed to be sleeping in those first two games. And it took a little bit for Vasilevsky to warm up to the task. And then he showed why he's, back-to-back winning Stanley Cup goaltender.
Yeah.
And they're going for the three-peat. So that's the interesting part.
Not happening.
Like, you have the Avs. They look stacked. They look like they're just plowing through. And by the way, talking about like that whole you sweep and you haven't played so much. It takes time to get back into game mode. The Avs have experienced that already, right? With the sweep in the first round against the Predators. I didn't really see it really affect them against the Blues, and then they just swept Edmonton. So I feel like they're going to be ready. I think because they're a younger team, I don't think it takes as much to kickstart them back. Tampa Bay, though, it's really hard to pick against them.
I'm picking against them. I'm putting like the Chris Payon stamp of approval.
Stamp of approval.
Like you can get a graphic for that, I'm sure.
All right, yeah.
Like, I don't cut. It's not happening. The curse of the Penguins. Repeats don't exist.
Okay, well here, I think if Braden Point can make it back into this series for Tampa Bay, I think.
But he is.
I think
He is.
That would be
I
huge.
checked his Twitter.
Yeah, he thinks he's coming back?
He says he's 100%.
Really?
It's
All right.
I'm telling you, I think. Well, I just think Colorado's gonna score nonstop, and I think they'll try to.
Vasilevsky, though.
I know. I get.
This is not Mike Smith.
I know Tampa Bay's got like an insane. Their goaltender is insane. He is awesome. He's a wall.
He's better than Igor Shesterkin.
He is better than them.
That's right, Ranger fans. I said that out loud.
I mean. The only thing is I don't. So does the tail of the tape? Does good scoring beat good goaltending?
Well, it's also the defense. I mean, look, when the Rangers got up 2-0 on Tampa kind of switched up their game a little bit and started playing a game which I felt was very reminiscent of the Ranger game. Mm-hmm. Waiting for the Rangers to make a mistake, capitalizing on it, knowing that their goalie is going to stop stuff. And look at those rest of those games. They were all low-scoring games coming down to the third period with a few minutes left. They know how to adapt to their opponent, and they've just done it time and time and time again. That's why they have won 2 cups in a row, and they are 4 wins away from three-peating. And I don't want them to three-peat because I'm a Penguins fan.
Yeah, and we didn't do it. We were right there. But I think Colorado's lost 2 games. The whole playoffs. 2 games.
Tampa Bay's only lost 5.
I know. How about those Rangers with 10? Just saying. But we're just hopping on the Rangers.
Well, we can now because they're finally out of the playoffs.
We're just mad and bitter because we should have beat you.
When I picked the Lightning in 5 and the Rangers won those first 2 games, I got tweets and text messages. Like, people were jumping down my throat, and you know what I did? I didn't respond to any of them, so I was so happy on Saturday because there it goes.
I mean, like, Colorado's been on cruise control the whole playoffs, just playing golf.
All right, so let's do this. Who would you give the goaltending advantage to?
Tampa Bay.
100%. Hands down, 100%. Vasilevsky over Darcy Kemper. Easy. Or their backup goaltender who knows played a bunch of games.
It's all going to be Tampa Bay.
Okay. Scoring.
It's got
offensive scoring. Forget about defense.
65-52. I mean, do the math. It's Colorado.
Okay. But Kucherov has been lights out, and he's got 23 points.
I understand.
Okay? And if we're not counting Cale Makar, who's a defenseman for Colorado, it's Nathan McKinnon 18 and Landeskog with 17.
But we're counting the defenseman because he can score.
Okay, but Braden Point,
again,
who's not been playing, he's going to bring that extra. He's going to bring that offense to the defense for Tampa Bay if he's back. And I mean, Hedman's been good. I mean, not Cale Makar good. He's been good, and Sergachev really stepped up against the Rangers series, getting pucks on net so that their forwards could, redirect them.
I think it's going to come down to Colorado shooting a ton and breaking down the goalie. Like, just shooting nonstop.
Vasilevsky loves shots. The more shots, the better for him.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so how many games? You've picked the Avs. How many games?
I want to say 6, but it could go 7, so I don't, it could be cool to have a cup go down to the last game.
This is so hard.
It is a little hard.
I'm
not feeding it to Tampa Bay. I'm so sorry. I really, Colorado, come on. I think it's just due for them to play the game they've been playing for the last at least couple of seasons, that they've just been falling a little bit short. And I think Tampa Bay, listen, if Tampa Bay wins, congrats. I mean, you did what we couldn't do, and that's annoying, but winning that 3rd cup in a row, I mean, I'm sorry, but I think
it's hard.
I think
it's hard.
good scoring beats good goaltending. I'm going Colorado in 6.
You're going Colorado in 6. I picked against Tampa Bay versus Toronto. You actually picked Tampa Bay. And they were down 3-2 in that series. And I really thought Toronto, this was going to be their year to get at least past the first round.
Well, yeah.
But I kind of had them actually going in my bracket one of my brackets. One of my brackets, I always put the Penguins through because, But the other one, I had Tampa Bay getting through there. And it was just odd watching that series. And the reason why I bring that up is some games it just looks so lopsided. Sorry, Toronto, I meant. That Toronto was beating up on Tampa Bay. And in the other games, Tampa just flipped the script on them.
Right.
And they did that against the Rangers. They didn't need to do it against Florida because Florida was just a pushover. It's so hard to pick against Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh, it's going 7. It's going 7. Anything can happen in a game 7. Oh, man, I think you're right with the Avs, but you know what?
What's their tail of tape between them? Do we know that? We didn't look that up, right?
The regular season doesn't matter.
I know.
The Rangers did not lose to Tampa Bay during the regular season. I got that text and that tweet a lot. Okay, but they just lost 4 times in a row. By the way, technically, after winning those 2 games, they got swept out of the series. He's out of the playoffs.
I mean, then Florida Panthers, look how well that worked out for you, having the best, record.
Yeah, the best record. And best record of hockey doesn't
never
really
mean
mean
anything.
Yeah. I don't. Okay, I'm gonna go Tampa Bay in 7.
Because you want to go the opposite.
I'm going look. I could flip a coin on this one. But it's really hard to pick against. I could see the Avs in 6. I wouldn't be surprised after what they did to Edmonton. I wouldn't be surprised. But Vasilevsky, I think, is key, and I think we're gonna see some overtimes too.
I think there'll be I agree with that.
So
I think it'll be. It's not gonna be no 1-0 game.
No,
it'll be 4-3.
Well. Oh, I could see.
You think a 1-0 game?
No, not a 1-0 game.
If you shut down the Avs
I could see a
2-1. A shutout?
I could see a 2-1 before an empty netter.
I'll go to the parade in Tampa Bay if they win.
All right.
Where in Tampa Bay?
There you go. You heard it here. He will be in Tampa. All right, before we wrap this up, just because this is our show, so we can talk about anything we want, let's switch over to some Penguins, by the way. Before we do that, comment, subscribe, do all that. I want to know who you guys are picking, Avs or Lightning. Put it in the comments. And now, I said that now because all the Penguins fans are going to turn this off. Let's talk about a little bit of the Penguins here. Off-season news, they sign Brian Rust to a team-friendly deal that opens the door for Malkin and or Letang, depending on what type of deals they're looking for, of staying. I still believe the Penguins keep one of them. I personally think that the right choice is Letang. He gives you a lot more. Yes. Malkin makes more mistakes.
Yep.
And wish list, pick up Fleury, sign him to close out your career in Pittsburgh. Friendly deal. Get the band back together. Helps those other guys also stay. And I think there's another cup run left in this team because of how good Gensel is.
Love him.
Jake from State Farm.
With Crosby.
And they shored up that line. They were like, we don't want to break up that dynamic.
Nope.
Rust, Gensel, and Crosby.
Oh, it's a great line.
There you go. Everything else, all the other lines are fluid. We still have Carter, who's been playing really well on the Penguins. So I think, but
fix the goalie situation.
Yeah, and I think Fleury's goalie situation. Jari's good. He was just injured. Yeah. But Casey DeSmith contract is up, so he's gone. Louis Domingue had a 1-year deal. He's gone.
I want that guy, though.
You get Fleury, you let them tandem. This way, Jari won't break down because he doesn't have to play every game. And Fleury, who's older, also won't have to break down. And if he's got a good team in front of him, he excels. When he's got a bad team in front of him, Fleury's not a good goalie. Look at his time in Chicago.
No, we didn't even see the Fleury that we know in Chicago.
Yeah, well, because there was no defense in front of him, and there was no offense. And when he makes a mistake, which he will.
Because he does that flappy thing.
No one on a bad team, he knows that they're not going to make up that goal.
Nope.
But on the Penguins, he knows that they can make up that goal. So, and also, by the way, I think if the Penguins beat the Rangers, if we had the goaltending situation, we would be playing against the Avs right now. I'm bold enough to say that. They would have beaten Carolina. The test would have been Tampa Bay.
I'm going to stop there, and then because I'd literally be picking Avs in 6, probably 5 against us.
Against the Penguins.
Could you see Louis Domingue being our star goaltender?
I said if Jari was
I don't even know if Jari can handle Colorado.
No, I don't know.
I don't say good.
Could we bring in Fleury at the end?
Can I make a trade?
Right from there.
I'll take Igor. Just jump over.
Right, just jump over. You continue your season. All right. Well, you're taking the Avs in 6. I'm taking the Lightning in 7. But I would not be surprised if the Avs win this series and win it in 6. The way they took out Edmonton, it could be 5. But I think the Lightning, they're going to come to play. So that coaching staff gets this team ready, and they just never look phased. So again, if you haven't, subscribe, comment, let us know who you like. And yes, this is it for Pucking Around for this year. But let's try to get together after July 3rd when free agency starts opening up and talk some Penguins specific moves, huge offseason for us. So let's do that. It'll still be called Pucking Around, Chris and Chris, but just focus on the Penguins. We'll throw in some Rangers. Calm down, Ranger fans. All right. Have a good one, everyone. And Chris, thanks for making some time.
Yep.
Have a good one.
All right.